Hi, this is Amy M. Burns from amymburns.com and author of the new publication, Using Technology with Elementary Music Approaches, published by Oxford University Press and available from Oxford and Amazon today. Today is tip number 3 as we count down the 10 tips that Elmused have learned for surviving 2020 as we say goodbye to 2020, woohoo, and ring in 2021. Tip number 3 involves splitting the screen using a Chromebook and using an iPad. As you watch this one, the iPad portion will also involve using Seesaw and how to create an activity where you want to put the music on the screen and the virtual instrument on the screen as well. It will show you that in today's tips, so stick around and let's get started. Finally, if you want to see all 10 tips, just click below here in YouTube and see the link for all 10 tips. Let's have some fun and let's start splitting our screens in Chromebooks and iPads. So I am on my daughter's Chromebook here for tip number 3 onto splitting the screen on a Chromebook. Many of you already know this, but it's always good to review this or to make a tutorial for your students on how to do this, because many of the students I've researched are on Chromebooks. So when you look at this, you have two tabs open again. You have the Xylo app and the Boomwhacker songbook. So here what you would do is you pull out the tab you want, and then you're going to use the Alt key and put it over to the left. So I use the Alt and Alt bracket, and I use the left bracket to make that go to the left. Over here, you would think Alt right bracket would do it. It really doesn't. You kind of have to just resize it. If yours does work that way, that's great. But this one, I'm just going to resize it like that so that it fits both sides of the screen. So again, it's just your Alt bracket to the left and then Alt bracket to the right. So it's just the Alt and the bracket keys, 2 keys. One thing to note, I've noticed this on 2 different Chromebooks. The smaller Alt won't do this. Okay, I'm using it right now, and it's not doing a thing. It's the larger Alt that will do this. So I don't know if that's with everyone, but I have known that with Acer Chromebooks that the smaller Alt won't do this. It has to be the larger Alt key and the bracket. To create this in Seesaw so that you can split the screen so that you can play this Xylo app you see on screen and be able to read the music, and it's all a Seesaw activity. I'm using my screen recording button on the iOS to show you how to do this. So what I did is you can launch Safari or you can launch Chrome. It works in either web browser. I am in Safari, and I have made it so that it is Boomwhacker colors and Solfege. Now, what's really cool about what they updated is that makes its own individual link. So I copied that link, and now I'm going to go into Seesaw. So I'm going to flip it up and go over here into Seesaw. I've started to create a new activity. I am going to start with the link. So now I'm going to paste that link right here. And I pasted from Safari. Wonderful. It's going to lock it. I'm going to unlock it, bring it down, resize this. We'll just move it that way, and put it over here to the lower right-hand side, and I'm going to lock it. Now I'm going to bring in the screenshot from my Boomwhacker activity. So here I am. I'm going to resize this so that it is half the screen, and I'm going to lock it. Little Seesaw tip. We all have the tech-savvy student who's going to unlock this and move it all over the place or delete it. One little tip I have learned from Chris Shiner is to go into the text tool. Maybe I'll just put a little R in there just for right now so I can get the little menu up. Go into the style. Many of you already do this. Clear it, and then I'm going to just put that, size it here. I just want it over here. All right, get rid of the R. We don't need it. I have it now. This is here, and then I'm going to lock it. At least it gives that extra layer where they can't actually move that song. They'll probably realize soon that it's locked and then layered, but maybe they won't. Maybe it'll take them a little bit longer. All right, so now what the students do is they open this assignment and they have these two things. Your instructions would be to click the link. So they click the link and it opens. It's going to open in Safari probably, in an iPad that hasn't been tinkered too much with the settings. It's probably going to open here in Safari. Then they have to click back into Seesaw. Then they have to lift up from the bottom, click and drag Safari to the screen. Now they have it. So they have a dual screen. The final thing that you're asking is, I want to record them playing it. Sure, you can screen record in Seesaw. That's using the microphone. However, when you screen record, you will not get this portion of the screen. I was trying to circle it. You will not get this portion. When I screen record, for example, it's going to do this, start recording, and I can play along. And then when I'm done, it's kind of in the way, but I can move this over. Move it over there, click done, and move it back. And now I have it, and I can play along. And then when I'm done, it's kind of in the way, but I can move this over. So you'll notice it's not there, though. Yeah. That little portion of the screen that I've hidden, now it's back, is no longer there. So that's probably not the way I want to do it. If I want to play this on the screen with this, with the xylophone also shown on the screen, that is the screen recording tool I'm using right now. So use that screen recording tool, and then you can record everything that you're seeing on the screen. Hold down the microphone. When you bring on that screen recording, that little button that's flashing red, hold that down so the microphone turns on. If you want them to sing, if you don't turn on the microphone, the iPad will only record what's inside the iPad, the sounds coming from itself. If you want to record them singing, make sure they hold on to the microphone. That is how you split screen in an iOS device. This is also how you would do this with a Seesaw activity.
Come back tomorrow where tip number 4 through tip number 8 will involve Google Slides. So join me tomorrow as we jump into the tips of Google Slides.